Here on Thursday night. It's subscriber Thursday. It's subscriber night. So we're doing excuse me. We're doing a subscriber stream, so we're doing game analysis. Everybody can submit games to a subscriber to the stream. Welcome everybody. Acerbate, JCS, Soltigo, Bob. Just call him Bob because his name is too long. All the regulars are here. I might cough a little bit. I was just out in the cold. So be warned. What's up, everybody? Soltigo, thanks for being here. We've got dueling moderators. We could have a match between JCS and Soltigo. The dueling moderators, like dueling piano players. Merle Dixon's here as well, aka Uber driver. I've got my Master Fugu is in the house. I went with Pond. No, Ponda's in Budapest. I went to the fish market today, and there was one of this guy's brothers was hanging up in the fish store, and I told the girl that I had one too. She's like, "Oh, I've never seen any of those around anymore," but I actually caught one of those when I was a little kid. Maybe that's him now. Anyway, guys, let's get started. JCS would smash Soltigo. He's starting to rub the salt in the wound already. JCS versus Soltigo. What time control is very important? The faster time control probably might favor JCS. I'm not sure. Maybe not though. It would be interesting. I don't know. Would this longer time controls favor Soltigo? I'm curious. Neither of them plays like super long time controls. So let's get started. I've got game submissions from quite a few players. It's still not too late. If you guys did submit a game, so did not submit a game, please do so here on lichess. You can send it to my account, Sparklehorse. I'm going to start with our first one on the list, Acerbate. My internet is back. This morning I lost one of my lessons. 10 minutes into the lesson, my internet just like crashed. Let me see, is this the right game? No, it's earlier. This is it. He said, although I really wanted to show off Czech Benoni, it follows a really good opening book game a little bit. This one is 22 move miniature with 13 moves before Stockfish has something to say. Don't know if it's boring, but that's my only reservation. Bob. Yeah, I think Bob is... You're fourth, Bob. You're slow. Slow. In the middle of the pack. It's not showing the board. What did I do wrong? Oh, I must have started another... Whoa, that's weird. I must have two lichess. Oh. Alright. Duh. Alright. What did I do? Is this the right board? Alright, maybe I just had two lichess, maybe. Two lichess boards open. Alright, we've got it figured out. Thank you, Bob, for pointing this out. I'm a little disorganized here. Internet is hiccupy. So anyway, Acerbate has a game here. Alright, there it is. I really wanted to show off a check, but let's see what this is. Acerbate playing white. Yeah, I had two lichess windows open. I didn't even realize. So our hero, Acerbate, is playing white. Percy Porth, thank you for the submission. You're in the list. We've got Acerbate, Artie, Nefedov, Bob, Percy, Nils, no, Merle, Nils, Soltigo. Alright. E4, E5. You just had 3 garlic cloves, very fresh. 3. Just like that. You eat them like in olive oil or something. Fending off the vampires. Alright, E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, bishop C4. Yeah, I remember there was this guy, Blazimir Kovacevic, who used to every time we had a meal at the tournament in Spain where I played, he would always bring his own garlic with him. And he was like cutting up little pieces of garlic to sprinkle on his food. I mean, a lot of people think that it's like, I guess it has effects like reducing cholesterol or something. I don't know. But anyways, since the beginning of time, garlic has been suspected to be good for you. Alright guys, bishop c4. So this is Italian game. Astrobate is white. Black played d6, which is... What is that? I don't know what to call it. What do you call it when they play d6? Good for blood pressure. Okay. Makes you more potent. Maybe. In some cases, it may not help. Alright. So, what are we? Bishop c4, d6. I want to know what this opening is called now after d6. It just says Italian game. I mean, bishop e7 is Hungarian defense. I would think that would somehow be... It's a lot more common than d6. Why is d6 like never played? Why is bishop e7 better than d6? I guess I'm trying to ask. Is it... Maybe it isn't better than d6. Let's see. d6, I'm going to turn off Stockfish because everybody gets pissed. It slows down my stream. I'm just used to using it in an off stream. Can I not click off? Okay. Whoa. Okay, Astrobate says Stockfish has no issue, but I have issues. You know, I think d6 is uncommon. Wondering why it's like different than... Why is it different than bishop e7? Isn't it some sort of Philidor defense, right? Well, yeah, I mean, it would be essentially a hybrid between the Philidor. More like a Philidor. I agree. If d4 ed, knight takes d4, you have exchange Philidor, what they call the exchange Philidor. Right? So I guess it's more of a Philidor, technically. Let's take a look, guys. Alright, so h6. I've got some lag going on. I've told Astrobate time and time again to play d4 in these situations. But he's regressed now. Last week he played d4, and this time he didn't do it. He was like for a long time not playing d4. Then he finally got to the point where he got up the courage and did d4. And now he's not doing d4 anymore. So we've got 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You know, I really think that you should strike here with d4, Astrobate. After h6, I mean, it's totally justified. So there's nothing wrong with c3. Nils is like, can I please skip the queue? Oh. Alright, Nils. Anything can be arranged for money. Almost anything. 1,000 bits will get you to the front of the line. I know it's late for you, and it's only fair. I mean, it's 10:40 in Europe, so actually, we got a couple UK people, but I feel for you, and I think we can arrange that. Monopoly. Bob making Monopoly reference. I used to joke with people. What was that? I was trolling people that I was a professional Monopoly player at one point. That was like a party joke. Really, really dumb person asks you what you do, and I was bored of telling them that I'm a chess player. So I'd be like, "Oh, I'm a professional Monopoly player." They're like, "What? Really? You seriously play Monopoly for money?" Oh, I said, "Yeah. There are tons of like real money tournaments for Monopoly. You know, it's unbelievable. A lot of people don't know about it, of course." But they'd have to be really gullible to believe it. Okay, c3. Anyway, let's get going. c3, knight f6. d3. Oh, no. If you're playing like Mamedyarov, your host now, he's going to play g5 and start to attack you. You're already castled. You're like primed for the Mamedyarov like caveman style attack here. Basically, You've committed to castling early. My advice to people who play the Italian game is not to really commit to castling early. Computer is like, no, it's no problem. I understand. As you said, like the computer. Yeah. No, you can't tell them I'm a professional chess player after the Monopoly joke. You know, that would be kind of a letdown. Okay, bishop e6. Here. I agree, like, no mistakes, Asterbate, but, you know, I don't think you played the best. I mean, every little incremental, like, thing helps. Now, at this point, I don't think there's anything wrong with bishop c6. It's probably a good move, but I would very seriously consider the alternative bishop c2. His knight is out here in Zimbabwe. Saltigo just donated 5 bits with a charity direct relief. If you guys add charity to the end of the bits donation, you can make it go toward, help to go toward charity. Whoa, what happened? What happened now? Do we have another donation I missed? Clash Kid's not here, is he? Just he sent in 500. You're not rich enough, Saltigo. I don't think Saltigo is trying to take away your first place there, Nils. Nils will be up next. But thank you guys. But seriously, bishop c2, c5, you know, you'll play a kind of, I think, Roy Lopez Chigorin here of sorts. But I think this is pretty interesting too, keeping pieces on the board. His knight's out on a5. I mean, you can leave it out there. Your variation leaves it out there as well. Bishop takes, f takes e. Okay, so now you play queen a4 check. But it's a shot in the dark, you know. I mean, you play queen a4 check, you're like forcing him to go back. I mean, essentially correcting his mistake. I don't think it's really necessarily a mistake. Asterbate that donates 5 for charity, or with the charity. All right, so queen a4 check, knight c6. Queen a4, not a bad move, but it's like, do you really want to chase this back? d4, I like this move. The delayed d4. Can he take on e4 here? Guys, is this possible? 100 Merle Dixon. This is a class war. Alright guys, thank you for subscribing and thanks for supporting the stream. Nils to the 1500 this week. Just now, 1500. Clash Kid this 1000 the other day. Dim has donated 900. He's not in the stream yet. I don't know if he's going to make it tonight, but all of you guys, Saltigo, everyone, thanks for the donations. Thanks for supporting charity. Alright, so well, my question is, what about knight takes e4? Can we turn on the engine here? Because I'm thinking like knight takes e4, pawn takes pawn d5. May not be that bad for black. This would be a reasonable defense. Yeah, I think this is probably black's best chance. He should probably take that. So he can actually take it. He was scared to take it, but maybe he should. Queen d7. It's going to damage his structure forever. So now we have... Well, no, it's not going to damage the structure because he takes and then knight takes. Oh, no. Oh, no. Asterbate lost his advantage with this move. Platinum Elite subscriber. No, Asterbate is a tier 3 subscriber. He's technically the big subscriber, the biggest subscriber. Knight takes e5, queen d1. Now all we have is a central pawn here that's hanging. We're holding on to it. And that pawn is just hanging, man. It's just on pre. So the guy takes the pawn, and he's better now. He's up a pawn. So basically, Asterbate dwindled. His advantage just dwindled. Gave him VIP. Yeah, we should do VIPs. But I like you the most, Nils. Everybody does. We can't resist. I wanted to play Queen G4. Alright. Poor Nils keeps challenging me to like play off stream, and every time he challenges me I'm like in the middle of a lesson. So I can never play him. But I could. Today, knight to d2. Today my internet crashed. Actually, right after you challenged me. Knight takes d2, knight takes d2, queen takes d2. White simply down a pawn, knight c6. Now, opposite side castling give both sides a chance to attack. Alright, there comes the queen side. a4, b4, b5. And then black can try his counterattack on the other side, but white looks faster here. And black has to be very alert. I mean, seriously, b4, b5 looks quite dangerous. It's almost like a free roll in poker terms. Man, I don't know. Computer says e5, so I guess we can go e5, b4, e4. I would presume. e5, b4, e4. And if knight d4, black is a good square at e5. This is just fast enough. So that was the absolute best chance. Black wastes the tempo here with bishop e7. And now the e5 square will fall, and that could be big trouble for black as well. So b4, good job, Acerbate, spotting the try. Here black was alert enough to take control of e5, so it doesn't let the knight come into e5 when b5 hits. But b5 is opening up his king side pretty big, so this is like it reminds me of an exchange French where, you know, you try to castle opposite sides with black. Mr. Coffee knows what I'm talking about. Any French players who play against the exchange variation know this plan where you try to castle opposite sides to make the game sharp, but it's very, very double-edged. It looks like that. And here, black has to be really careful because opening the A file, I guess, is like fatal. He probably should play like knight to b8 or, I don't know, you know, I mean, some kind of passive move. Maybe here he can go knight a5. Possibly you could sack a pawn, like pawn takes pawn b6, try to keep it closed. Just keep it closed. Like, even if you have to be down a pawn, that doesn't matter. You know, you just want to keep the lines closed so we can't get the rooks and queen in against the enemy king. But he takes back and allows the A file to open. AB, knight e5. That's an interesting move. That's an interesting move. Well, I think we got it. All right. Perfect game. Acerbate only made 2 inaccuracies and 1 mistake. He kind of gave it to you, but there was no good move for black there. I mean, knight b8. Okay, he's got to play knight b8. Yeah, that's the best try, but it's really nasty. This looks truly, truly bad. Rook a8, threatening bishop a7. And now, I guess, what are you going to do? Like b6? I would assume b6 is the only move. What's wrong with b6? Queen a2. Queen a2 or queen e2. So black is so tied up you could play something like queen e2 and still have a massive advantage. It's not so easy to win, though. Okay, Acerbate, thank you for the game, sir. We're going to move on. Entertaining as always, Acerbate there. We're going to skip the queue. Nils has bought a prime... He's bought himself, like, VIP preferred status. You know, like at the airport queue where you go in the VIP line. Alright, we're going to do Nils' game. It is late there for him, though, so I appreciate it that he's donating support to stream. I'm more than happy to accommodate him. We all got to wait anyway, so... Take a look at Chapter 7. Alright, guys. This is an expensive game. Alright, so... Nils is black. Grunfeld, maybe. Nice mate, Acerbate. Acerbate put an interesting game in the Discord channel. If you guys want to check out our Discord channel, not a game, but he put a puzzle from one of his games. A mating 15 puzzle. You guys want to check out the Discord channel, Pub Sladgie on Discord. So Nils is black. Knight f3, knight f6, g3, d5. I mean, Nils, you played the Grunfeld, so... I mean, g6... Although it's most people with this move order are looking for some kind of King's Indian attack normally, or the English. I'll turn off the engine. I think one of the things that's the most awkward for black, though, is like dealing with English move orders. If you play the Grunfeld with black, the English move orders with c4, knight f3, trying to figure out, as a Grunfeld player, how you want to sort of deal with that stuff. But after knight f3, knight f6, g3, I mean, he could still transpose to an English or something like that, but it's not going to be some kind of critical, like critical anti-Grunfeld line or something like that. So it's just a little bit lame for white. But Nils just plays d5. d5, c6, and now d3. So it looks like King's Indian attack. Well, you're playing a King's Indian, but you're white against the King's Indian. You're playing, well, something like... The normal thing to do here is to play a Tory attack. And this is a very good system. Meyer, George Meyer. Basim Amin. Alright, bishop g4. No, he didn't play this. This is what everybody plays, though. I mean, bishop g4 is a very reliable system. It's one thing to, like, waste your white with that, playing the Tory attack with white. But when you're black, I think, you know, in terms of equalizing, it's not a bad system. But Nils here plays g6, so he's going into something like a Grunfeld type of setup. The problem with this is, I mean, I don't really see, like, why the move c6 is necessarily relevant. I mean, you'd be better off just omitting the c6, you know, and having more flexibility. You know, I don't really see how playing c6 is really useful. You're just kind of committing that a little bit too early. No particular benefit. Okay, now white plays knight on bd2. With white myself, I prefer to be a little more flexible here. He could also do a double fianchetto. I think that b3 is something I've played in this type of position. It's also looks Kramnik-y. Basically a Reti, double fianchetto. Let's see who's played b3. Bilek István. Little known, lesser known Hungarian grandmaster. He passed away years ago. b3, bishop g7, okay, whatever. So, knight bd2 though, I prefer castles for white, and then we'll see what we're going to do next. Maybe knight on bd2 wouldn't even be necessary. Maybe we can play queen e1 and e4. Alright, so knight on bd2, bishop g7, castle, castles. I think I had a game here. I had a game with white against Sebe Attila, and maybe 10 years ago or less. Maybe it was like 8 years ago. And I played e4 and Sebe exchanged on e4, which I think is a really bad move, actually. This was our game. This type of position where he did d4. I don't know. He said he hated his position after this. And you can see there's some grandmasters who have done this. But I don't really see how it benefits black, you know, to make this exchange on e4. So I was better in that game. That was a long time ago, 2010, I think. Anyway, so e4, Nils plays bishop g4. Chess pots are whales. See, the thing is here, technically the white square bishop is your worst bishop, but I wouldn't really want to exchange any bishops here because it's still, like, the pawn structure isn't really fixed. So when I'm white in these King's Indians, I'm pretty happy to get the bishop pair. h3 takes. So this is I don't know, you know, I don't know. It's something of a concession. White has chances. If you look at my video series I did, like Bobby Fischer, some Bobby Fischer games, some Bobby Fischer series I did for chesslecture.com about Fischer playing the King's Indian. Fischer with the two bishops was very, very strong. He would play this type of position, for example, very well. It's important how black conducts the middle game, though. I think that he needs to be extremely careful, mindful of the fact that white has the bishop pair. Nils, you know, you don't really want to fix like pawns on dark squares, probably. But you could in some situations maybe play e5. He decided to play e6 here. It's interesting. You have to shore up the white squares. So notice how no one played e5 practically. The best stream on Twitch. Wow, thank you. So it's a big compliment, man. I really appreciate it. Guys, also keep in mind that Chesspots or Whales is also a streamer, and actually Soltigo is also a streamer. So check those guys out. But anyway, so e6. It seems passive to play e6, but e5 blocks your bishop on g7. Zarniki. He's also a poker player, a good poker player. Well, was. I don't know if he still plays. We played in some of the same sit and goes. I remember playing like in this like $300 sit and go. Zarniki was in my sit and go. Let's see. He was in some multi-table tournaments I played too. But anyways, e6. Let's talk about chess. e6, queen e2. He played rook e1. Janza is still alive. I don't know if he played in the World Senior this year, but he'd been playing for many years. Okhotnik. Okay, e5 now. This looks a little bit weird. He's fixing this pawn. It looks overextended a tad. I definitely didn't expect this, but it forced your knight to a very bad square on e8. So it's looking like a Caro-Kann. You really need to play c5. And I'm thinking that white should consider maybe trying to play c4 himself. And could white try something crazy here to just melt down the whole white square diagonal? I mean, I know that our center is melting down, but could we try anything dynamic? I don't think I would have played like this. Maybe you can take and then play c4. There's some retro analysis here. It just says +1 from someone else. But I'm wondering about c4. I think the center just melts down too much though. Like take, and this is probably already favored for black, so I don't think that white can really do that. This is gonna sack the exchange or something. It's a nice try, but let's see, c3. So the problem is there's a huge... Get out of here, spider. Go back to your cave, wherever you came from. There's a huge one of those thin spiders. Spider. Get out of here. Right. So, you're getting brazen. I think he came from the shower. There was one in the shower. Alright, Nils. H5. Random land. This move came from random land. H5. Wow. You know, he has a space advantage with e5 on this side of the board. I mean, you should be focusing on this, you know, putting pressure on his center. H5 is just crazy, straight up crazy. I mean, I like to play H5. The Pandas, I didn't even introduce them today. Hello. Love H5. H5. Every time, like the first time we have a really topical H5s, I should introduce the Panda clan. H5 isn't completely random. It has a purpose. It's not completely random. I mean, completely random would be like, I don't know, try to think of the most completely random move we can make here. You have so little space in this position that it's almost hard to make a completely random move. But I guess completely random would be like knight b8, you know, like undeveloped. Even that has a purpose because like it goes with the knight back to c6. It's literally hard to make a completely random move. I mean, I admit g5 is worse than h5, but Nils is stubborn. You want a knight on f5? I mean, it's going to be hard to do that though. Like h5, bishop h6, knight g7. The ramifications of this. I mean, he could play g4 at some point if he wants to. I don't like it. You know, I don't have to be right about everything. You might be right, but I don't like it. It makes me, It creeps me out. I mean, h5 is a usual idea in some positions. I just don't really like it here. Okay, knight f1, king h7. We played h4, which I think is debatable. I mean, maybe he should consider even playing g4. Are you going to really try to do something crazy with like f6? With h4, he just wants some space. Maybe he'll play bishop h3. It's not a bad approach. Now bishop h6. I mean, you have to realize here, you're basically helping him on some level. You're trading your good bishop for his bad bishop. On the other hand, there's one good thing about bishop h6. You're actually trading off his bishop pair. Generally speaking, trading off the bishop pair. Asterbate, thank you. Asterbate, can we pause Nils' analysis for a moment? What's up? Don't forget the turkeys and the dead dog. The dead dog? Oh, my dead dog. The dead dog. Thanks for referencing. My name is based on my old dog, so... I was awake 20 hours when I was playing this game, so it's not my most brilliant. Asterbate watched 50 commercials. Oh my god. Asterbate, you just donated 100 bits from watching 50 commercials? Seriously? That's insane. The next move is a bit weird, because I thought the knight might go there, but I guess he wants to play f4. He's also possibly just winning the pawn on c5 if he wants to be materialistic about it. I mean, I would consider taking this pawn. I think it's a pawn, and it's probably worth taking. He'll have to play b4. It could be a little awkward to hold on to the pawn. Nils will get his knight f5 moment in the sun. Alright. Some of White's moves are a bit impulsive. I was really thinking like we might play f4 at some point to try to secure the center. Now he's got his queen on f4. Something awkward about the knight on g5, bishop on a queen on f4. Platinum Elite analysis. How can we stop it? We can't interrupt the Platinum Elite analysis. cd4. Yeah, here I like queen 6, Nils. Pressuring. This is not about being materialistic. We just want to tie him down. Tie him down and keep him busy till we can get to the file. Okay, you do that next move. I don't think it's a big deal. That's why knight g5 was a fail to begin with. He has to go back now. The Christmas candles. Well, this is a classic Caro-Kann. You know, Gurg needs a kind of pawn structure. I get this sometimes in my stream. Alexander Ivanov's favorite pawn structure. How many times I saw him play this. I mean, he loves this pawn chain. Knight b8. The Slav. Do we have time for this, though? I mean, this move definitely gets, like, exclam, question mark. Interesting. Not a bad move. Creative. But I don't know what to suggest, actually. I mean, we all know that he can play bishop h3, bishop takes f5 if he wants to. If there's a problem, you know, he can always do that. And he also might be worried about this pawn actually falling. You know, maybe that's a real thing now. Seriously. I mean, could you try to take the pawn? Could you? Should you? It's like a Dr. Seuss book. I want to see the analysis. Yeah, the engine's going for the pawn. Rook takes, no, change its mind. Alright. Rook takes. Queen b2, it's seriously thinking about it. I mean, you got to seriously consider this pawn grab, Nils, I think. White played b3, totally lame. Okay. What? So this is a move too late. I mean, it appears, unless he has some sort of tactics with like queen f6 and bishop takes e6 or something. It's gonna be hard to do because your queen's there. You basically just destroyed him now with your extra pawn. Thank you very much, sir. You got everything. Extra pawn. It's a protected passed pawn. You've got your strong knight in f5. Well, I mean, I think computer will probably prefer the pawn grab variation at the end of the day on b2, but it's very tricky. Oh no, knight g3. Ouch. Sniping a second pawn. Nice job. But this shouldn't have happened, you know, if we want to defend white. I mean, he could have played bishop h3 earlier and tried to trade off the knight at f5 a little bit earlier. But let's see how Nils cleans this up. So knight takes e4. We're up 2 pawns and a queen ending. I mean, it should be, as long as he doesn't get a queen f6 perpetual, should be pretty easy. Threatening to trade queens all over the place. Exactly. You know, like, I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, queen g4 is basically the same thing. And now, f6. Just enough to win. Good thing we had 2 extra pawns. So, I thought there g5, just creating the passed pawn. It doesn't matter. Alright, he resigned. Good game overall. But I think there are points where we can improve in Nils' play, despite the fact that he doesn't agree with everything that we feel. He's not supposed to. It's good that he has a backbone and he's not a yes man. Congratulations, Nils. Thanks for joining us. Alright, guys, we're going to be moving on to Artie. Artie Fufkin is next. God, it's hard to believe I used to play Blitz games during the subscriber stream. Now we have so many games, I couldn't even dream of it. You calculated the pawn ending. I give you credit, man. You're good enough. Pawn end game is lights out. I mean, it's not really that much about calculation, just kind of like, you know, knowledge that you have the outside passed pawn and there's pawns on both sides of the board. You don't really need to calculate anything. You just need to just know that having the outside pawn is winning. Alright, Artie Fufkin playing against Parlay. Masturbate, cleaning up the bits. Bit mining. Oh my god, that made me think of Bitcoin. Thank God I didn't invest a lot of money in Bitcoin. Alright. Artie Fufkin is black here. Bitcoin is definitely going to be 20,000 by the end of the year. E4 C6. Oh, I just did I just ask for a game analysis? Okay. Whatever. No, Nils is better than that 1650. We're not flattering him just because he donated to the stream. He's clearly better than that. Used to get a couple of ads each day, months ago, but lately it just gave me a message that says, "Sorry, Merle. Acer already watched all the ads. There's nothing left for you." D4, D5. Alright, so Caro-Kann with bishop f4. This is like a form of a turkey. No, it's a form of the Black Mardimer, right? Where white just put his bishop on f4. So I feel like we have to take the pawn. This is an offer you can't refuse. The sarcasm was about the Bitcoin thing. I actually have some Bitcoin, but I never would have trusted it. Alright, so knight c3. I never would have trusted to put a lot of money in it. I mean, but I'm still disappointed. Knight c3, bishop f5. Knights before bishops, Artie Fufkin. Always. Always move your knights before bishops. It's very simple. This bishop has a lot of flexibility. I mean, you don't have to decide where it's going to go. The knight's going to have to go to f6. Just think about it this way, logically. Think about it. I mean, the knight's going to have to go to f6. It's just the best square. The bishop, we don't really know where it wants to go. The bishop has a great range from its original square, you know, so that's why. So white should play g4, I guess. Some kind of weird, crazy g4, h4. And he could play bishop g2. That's probably a key component of the proper way to play this for white. Then they have g4 followed by bishop g2 with tempo, with another attacker, a grob, the hyper grob. So knight f6 is more accurate. All right, bishop f5, but knight e2, giving you time to play knight f6 and put the knight on its crappy location on g3. Bishop g6, h4. So, yeah, I mean, you could play h5 here. You know, some people might prefer to play h5, but I also would probably prefer to play h6, not to give away the g5 square. And now queen e2, natural, but d4 is dropping. So I don't know what to do with white here. Just take more space with h5, but I don't really see how he can try to get that pawn. I think that it would be better to play queen d2. He should just play queen d2 and maybe try to castle. But it looks like queen e2 sacrificing d4 is too big of a sacrifice. Just really, it's too important. Too important the central pawn, I think. Alright, so rook d1. He played queen b4, which is natural. I probably would have played this as well. Apparently the engine thinks queen b6 is better, but why? Why is queen b4 a mistake? You're not protecting d8? Is there some sort of problem with that? I can't imagine what's wrong with queen b4 though. Queen d2 threatens mate in 1. I mean, that's not a big deal. I don't understand what's wrong with this. Okay, it's a very small mistake. This is a mistake. Queen b4. Bishop c7. The cheapo. This looks like a game I played on my phone. Like anonymous chess yesterday. Okay, knight on bd7. Now, does this trap your queen or something? The b2 pawn is just hanging. Everybody's afraid to take b2 pawns. Me too. Nils also... Well, here you didn't have a choice yet. There was a mate threatened with rook to d8 there. Alright, Nils, go to sleep. Take care and thanks for the donation. Queen c4. Yeah, so now we can take the pawn on b2, but it does feel dangerous. Anyway, you're up a pawn here. Why not trade queens? I agree with this. My inclination would be to play e6 now. Welcome everybody to my stream. We're doing game analysis with subscribers. You're welcome to just hang out and watch if you're not a subscriber. Do we have but we have lots of fun even if you're not a subscriber. So b5 now. I don't really see the point of this. It just seems to weaken black's position a little bit. I know they have b4 maybe, but I would think we would just play e6, get our bishop out, you know, everything would be cool. But he's going for that bishop on b3 with a5. So a3, a4, grabbing space, bishop a2, and e6. At the end of the day, it probably didn't hurt you too much. Playing a5. Actually, this gave the rook squares, and there doesn't seem to be any easy way for white to take advantage of the fact that you've moved your pawns up. Now black played bishop c5. I mean, you've got to think about the pawn on e4. He's going to play this, probably surround it, come out with your hands up. And can we hold on to this pawn somehow? b4, knight c5 is another option to hold on to the pawn more. So you could just simply play bishop e7, rook e1, knight c5, and then he can challenge that with like bishop e6. You probably have tactics, something along the lines of e3, breaking down the barriers against c2 there. What I was saying about what? The anonymous guys play like masters. No, this guy is not, though. He's not playing really well. But the anonymous guys on the phone, when you play as an anonymous and play another anonymous guy, half of them are using computers. Not half, but like a lot of them, like maybe 25%. I mean, it's true. I just resign. Congratulations, dude. All right, bishop c7. So that's what I recommend. I think this is okay, actually. This variation worked out really well. You could even play e3, I guess, right away. But I liked it better after knight c5. This looks ideal. Here, 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 here. And I like this position. I mean, unless I'm missing something tactically, which is possible, like rook c1. I don't see it, though. It doesn't strike me as white having some sort of tactic here. Let's see. What does the engine say? The oracle. Tell us the truth. Tell us the truth, Stockfish. -2. No tactics. All right. Gormley. He streams beating up as an anonymous, I think. He's a twisted, sadistic guy, right? He's a good guy, though. All right, got to admire Twisted Sadist like Gormley. Bishop to b3. He's a good player. All respect to Danny. Rook on f to e1. All right. But anyways, all right. Bishop c5. This is our game. And now we're losing the pawn back. No, you got to play e3 here. He went for knight g4. Okay. So you didn't see this transfer of pawns idea. But this is just an unfortunate blunder because it's attack and defense simultaneously. He's attacking c5, guarding the pawn on f2. It was a very big mistake, but black lost all of his advantage now. In fact, like, maybe like bishop d6 is going to be disturbing black. It'll just freeze you in place. Say next move. He played knight d6. I was seriously considering the move bishop d6 here. What would even be the point of using computer as anonymous versus anon for no rating? You'd wager that a lot of anonymous players are usually masters, protecting their precious ratings, reputations. I just do it because when I log in on my phone, it's not. I don't have my account like info there. I normally wouldn't do that. I was wondering about this move. This is apparently not a big deal though. All right. So he plays knight d6 check. You got to take it, I would assume. Or you can't take it. I'm crazy. This is bishop on c7. All right. Whoa. All right. Well, anyway, here I have this hallucinations. Knight f5 check. Knight f5 check. I love this move, king f6. I've had it in several games in the last couple of weeks. King f6 against Merle, actually, a couple of weeks ago in my simul. was like the last move before I offered a draw. Nothing like when you play king e7, king f6 in the middle game. Something special about that. Rook e2. I don't quite comprehend what's happening here. There's some kind of very long tactic that I don't even get. Like, bishop takes, check, rook takes. Let me turn off the engine, guys. It's probably really slowing down the stream, but take rook a7. Oh, so this is like physically trapped. Oh, man, okay. That's why you should never put your bishop on c7, kids. Bishops are meant to be long-range pieces, not up close. That was hard to see, though. Alright, JCS used to play Anonymous. He admits. I'm just too lazy to, like, remember my password and type it into the cell phone. Alright, here. So, king e7, knight b6. Knight f5, check, double question mark. Oh, he has some kind of knight takes f7. Knight takes f7 and bishop takes e6 check, taking this knight away on that square. Yeah, I mean, look at the black king. It's got all this pressure from these pieces. This gambit player is in heaven here, with all his pieces active. This is what this Black Mardimer type of guy wants to do. All caps. It would be in all caps then, Bob. That's Roman's favorite functionality. Roman was doing the Trump tweeting style like long before Trump in his general chat on the internet. Knight to d5. Now the black pieces are coming to life. Oh no. Oh, you're just dropping the bishop. Oh my god. So it's just both sides like mutually hallucinate. Just knight takes c7. Soltigo could beat me here, I'm sure, with white. The Georgian Trump with an accent. Well, he definitely taught Trump his caps and misspelled insults. Alright, here. 95. This was crazy. Got out of control. There's a piece hanging now. This must have been time pressure. How much time do the players have here? I mean, I don't understand what's going on. Okay, the knight's hanging, so you gotta play knight takes f2. Rook takes f2, bishop takes f2. Knight f2, rook f2, bishop f2, king f2, rook c7. We're up the exchange. I mean, what's the problem here? Just ABC. Just take, and take. And you're just up the exchange. But instead he took here. And now you got to walk over to g6 square. I like this king walk, though. So the whole thing like chilled out. Now the position's more calm. But white is just up a pawn. And I'm a little concerned about like c3, bishop b1, and skewering us on this diagonal. Don't play anonymous players. What can I say? Yeah, well, this is just winning a pawn. Now we're 2 pawns up. No, just 1. Okay. 1 pawn up. We've got the pawns on the correct color. And the king is pretty active. Bishop's pretty good. So as we enter like technical land here, I think that this is maybe holdable for black. Based on active king and white's pawns fixed on the dark squares on a3 and b2. I wish our pawn was back on like a6 though, because this pawn on b5 becomes a really big liability. Merle Dixon's telling jokes now. What happened to f6? Well, you can't afford to lose a second pawn here. You just can't. What am I missing? I don't understand. computer's like, okay, rook e8 mistake. King f1 dubious. But why wouldn't white take this pawn? Because h5 is just better? Yeah, okay, so rook e8, king f1. Yeah, so you can't play rook e8. I mean, you have to do something to defend the b5 pawn. I just don't think this is good, rook e8. I mean, even if he just exchanged rooks. I mean, takes rook. Okay, we get down on the 7th rank. Maybe you do have something here. Active defense. Even rook takes rook, king f1 though. He should play h5 check first, probably. And now we're screwed. Now we have to play like rook b8. No, this is horrible. We can't be down 2 pawns. Yeah, it's over. Just over. 2 pawns is over. So it was a really back and forth game. I mean, white was worse, then white was losing, then it was like unclear, and then at the end, black lost the ending, down 2 pawns. All right, thank you for the game, though. It was an interesting struggle, interesting gambit by white in the opening. Thanks, guys, for donating to support the stream. Nils donated 1,500 bits today. Dim's not here. Clash Kid 1,000 earlier the other day. We've got a stream coming up on Sunday, guys. Listen, I've got to make an announcement. There's not going to be a stream tomorrow. I've got a very important thing happening. My mom is getting out of rehabilitation, so I'm going to spend the whole day basically helping her come home and stuff like that. So I am going to be out of the loop tomorrow. So no Friday stream. Our next stream is going to be Sunday simul stream at 4:30. Just so you guys know. Be aware, Soltigo and JCS, no stream tomorrow. You guys have the day off. Enjoy it, you know. Soltigo, are you streaming every day now? What's up? I was curious if you're getting back into it. But if I get some free time, I'd watch your stream too. But anyway, guys, no stream Friday. Just know I'm taking tomorrow off for personal reasons. So the next stream will be Sunday subscriber stream. Excuse me, simul stream. All right, next game. We've got Nefedov. We got to get through some of these games. We got to remember that Nils is done, though. All right, Nefedov, where are you? Is Nefedov here in the chat? I think this is from Nefedov's board. No, this is from the Preston Chess Congress where I should have gone. I was supposed to go to meet Nefedov and play. He was going to host me to play in this tournament in England. 2 weeks ago, a couple weeks ago, and then all the stuff went down where my mom was in the hospital, so I couldn't go. This is Nefedov's game from round 5 of this tournament, the Preston Chess Congress. Let's take a look here. So Nefedov is white. Alright. Stream starts midnight. Soltigo stream starts midnight. Tuesdays to Saturday. I'm gonna probably change my living schedule. All right, e4, d5. Nefedov is white. Ed, queen takes d5, knight c3. I had helped Nefedov a little bit, you know, over the months, you know, playing him many games here, and helping him prepare because he hadn't played in the tournament in a long time. But unfortunately, like all of Nefedov's opponents, like played things that I never play, even though I've played like 12 different defenses against Nefedov. The poor guy gets opponents who play things like the French defense, Scandinavian with queen d6. I like the way that Nefedov played this though. Queen d6, knight f3, knight f6, and now d4. And now black plays c6. This is like one of Tibyakov's creations, I guess. It always seems strange to me. I mean, the main way to play is a6, and then either bishop g4 or knight c6, and knight c6, or b5 and bishop b7, depending on what white does. But this became like kind of heavily analyzed, So this is going back like 10 years ago. So basically what happened then, they started looking for other ways for black to play. And as a6 got overly analyzed, Tibiakov also started to play c6. I mean, it's basically like a kind of normal Scandinavian with your queen on a5, except it's on d6. On a5, you usually play c6. You give the queen a retreat square back to, diagonal back to d8. So it's kind of like playing like a normal Scandinavian. Your queen's just on a different square. Now knight e5. This is a very typical idea. And then, I don't know. I mean, it looks like black could play different things. This move looks interesting. Bishop e6. I know that Tibiakov likes to play g6 in these positions as well. Knight on bd7. Challenging that knight seems logical. But Nefi just plays f4. And this, to me, looks totally logical. I mean, and there's a lot of games. Shirov, these are old games. As I said, it was popular 10 years ago. So you see 2008, 2007, 2010. All these Shirov games with white, ironically. Well, this is his variation, I guess, f4. So instead of f4, most people naturally would play like knight c4, keeping pieces on the board. Here's Caruana versus Carlsen. Dominguez, Ivanchuk. That's a modern game. Grishuk, Rapport, Ricard. 2017. I think not trading pieces is a very logical way to approach this. Some people have played bishop f4. I don't know. Which is the best. They're all playable. I've never played this for black. I did play queen d6 a few times, but always with like a6. So I'm not very well versed on this. So black now played e6, which looks... I don't like black's position to begin with, but... yeah, I mean, to just sit here... what's black supposed to do, though? I mean, f4 just looks like a really strong move. You are weakening your king side a little bit. Excuse me. That's a novelty. That's a mouse slip. Queen takes e5. I want black to play c5 somehow, but I don't know if you can get away with this here. I think that knight b5 is a very serious danger in some positions. I'm not sure if it's a problem here. So guys, once again, no stream tomorrow. Our next stream is going to be, we have Friday and Saturday off. Our next stream is going to be Sunday, simul 4:30 Eastern Time. I will note that down under the title on the stream, on the channel page. Man, look at White's score in this position, though. Look at the score. Perutovic beat Ivanchuk. Hal versus Arkle. Okay, Kosaseva, some other guy. But still, it's like White has won, what? 7 out of 9 games. Ouch. Nefedov is playing White. So he plays bishop e2, which is a new move. Some people try to blast black with g4. That's definitely like Shirov style. But Shirov never encountered e6. Nobody played that against him. It looks like all the good players play... Tibiakov is the expert. It looks like there's a Nispiano game as well. Let's see. But basically black wants to play knight b6 and try to get the bishop out. And then white plays knight b6, g4. Just totally crazy Shirov. Stopping black and keeping it bottled up. This is great, though. Shirov still almost in his prime back in 2008. You might say. Even then, he's probably past his prime. But anyways, e6 to passive, bishop e2. I think bishop e2 is okay. If black could get in c5, they'd be okay. And now knight b6. Inaccuracy, according to the computer. Castles, bishop e7, bishop f3. Again, c5, black needs to play somehow to free themselves. But knight b5, that's the move that haunts him. How bad is it, though? Let's just say black does c5. I want to know. I mean, we've got to break free. So knight b5, not such a big deal, ironically. Like, knight b5, queen b8. This is what I was looking at. I'm thinking, well, doesn't look that bad. But if you put it on the engine, it's just bishop e3, massive advantage to white. Wow. Okay, so let's see. C takes d4. Bishop takes d4, and it's like plus 1.6. Castles, okay, it's exaggerating a little bit. White is definitely better here. You can see that black is frozen. Like, he can't develop his queen side. The rook on c8, the knight on b6. These pieces are just, excuse me, these three wise men over here. Unsound sacrifices, Soltigo approves. You have to check out the Acerbate game, Soltigo, where he sacks a piece. And he has like a massive positional edge. He sacrifices a piece to break out instead of strangling his opponent to death. Alright, so Nefedov, the guy can't break free. He plays this. Knight e2. This is a brilliancy, knight e2. Avoiding exchanges of pieces when you have more space. Plus he's threatening c4. It secures f4. It secures d4. I think it's a good move. Nefedov's like, I'm not going to fight you for d5. I'm going to play c4 and own it anyway. So this is like a real over-the-board game by Nefedov. You can see how strong he can play when he wants to. Really nice. The guy has to play b4 to stop c4, and then a3 undermining. I think this is like brilliant. So far, Nefedov played like a master. And then c5. Now he plays a takes b4. But I don't know. You know, it's interesting, like the computer doesn't know what to do. It goes like king h1. Let me turn off the engine. It's probably freezing the stream. Sorry, guys, if my stream just seized up there. I don't know what to do here, though. See, the problem is you can't play bishop b2 because you get this fork. But I mean, maybe that's not even that bad. You could answer with like queen d3. Like this, let's just look at this for a second. Here, here, here. And if you take on f1, I have bishop takes a8. So maybe this is actually good for us because we trapped the knight in f1. Black doesn't have to play knight e3 though. Is Nefedov here in the stream? No, actually bishop e2 looks like a good move. Bishop a6, the engine's suggesting. Stopping queen d3. Still white has an advantage. Alright. It is not that easy to play this position, though. Even though the engine says that white has a big advantage. I mean, what do you do? Concretely. So, he didn't play bishop b2. He played a takes b4. It does open his rook. We've got to give him credit for that. It stops or discourages bishop a6, let's say. That could be useful. Black takes here. You know, I expect him to take with the pawn on b4 and just kind of keep the structure frozen. Keep white frozen here. And bishop a6 is still possible, you know, because it's protected by the queen. Am I a third date kind of guy? Bob's getting bored. He's getting bored. Can't handle the long analysis session. I was never very good at dating, Bob, to be quite honest. It either works or it doesn't, you know? Just kind of like that. C takes b4. Just don't tell them you're a chess player on the first date. C takes d4, queen takes d4. Why not? This looks fine. The pin is in. That's my new saying. So, wow, and then we just keep the pawn. Oops. We got this. This is sweet, dude. This is sweet. So the pawns are just solid now. Nefedov's just winning. Bishop d8. Subtle. Subtle Tigo. Threatening this. A move Acerbate would appreciate. No matter how much I try to teach Astrobate, he still can't resist kind of like cheap one-move threats. Bishop d8, now queen d3, a totally natural move. You could play king h1. I mean, I think that's maybe, if you really want to be honest, instead of moving your queen from a good location, why don't you just move your king out of the diagonal, you know? And then if he goes bishop e6, you can choose from a variety of locations, a theater near you. So I think instead of moving my queen, I would move my king. Now, it's interesting, Nefedov doesn't play that move. I mean, I think a lot of people would play king h1. I mean, are you afraid of like a fishing pole here? Because Astrobate would definitely bring it with h5, and I think it's probably one of Black's better moves, in all honesty. Yeah, Bob, on your dating profiles, do you put the chess thing? Because sometimes that might be good, you know. You look like an intellectual, not just, you know, not just basing everything on your good looks. Your Match.com profile. We actually released Bob's Match.com profile up a little bit further up in the chat. Juicebox Wizard did some research. No, I'm just kidding. Alright, so h5, this is what I would be most concerned about. But let's just say we're back to the game. Queen d3, castles, king h1. There you go. Nefedov did both prophylactic moves. He didn't have to do both, but he did both. Like, why just do one? We can do both. Alright, queen b6. I would complete my development here. Why not bishop d2? I know that it's modest, but let's get the rooks connected. First things first. I like this move. Here. I mean, no, I can't do it. I just can't do it. The thing is, Nefedov has a 3-on-1 pawn majority on the queen side. And it's just like g4 feels like you're rolling the dice a little bit. You know, why are we rolling the dice when we're already up like $1 million on the queen side? You know what I mean? It's like you went to the casino, you won $1 million playing roulette. You know, you can either go to the cash out or, you know, play more. You know, it looks like Nefedov is like playing for more when he's like got $1 million in the bank. I mean, I just don't understand that, you know, on a practical level. We got to just make progress on the queen side here. Don't open up your king now. You're up decisive amount of material on the queen side. This might be a good move in the computer's world or something, you know. You're threatening to drive him back and win a piece. But, I mean, this should be enough. b5, enough. Enough, you know, this is... Seriously, you've got to be practical. Alright, so g4. It's kind of weird moving the knight, but now Black had time to attack it. The queen is trapped. Oh, the queen is trapped. Alright, sorry, I forgot. Never looking for these simple tactics. The queen is simply trapped. Alright, it's over. I think it's over. He tried bishop a6, right? It's kind of fun, though. I mean, b5 doesn't work. If you play knight takes b6, bishop takes d3, rook d1, it's kind of messy. So now he's just rolling the dice more on the king side. Knight e8, and bishop e4. And now what? Now you're like stuck. Oh, you defended your queen. Okay. Now we can take on b6. What about that? Would we just take on b6? Can we just take? I'd probably do this. Although, you know, c3 is hanging. Yeah, it's not so easy. This is not so easy. Alright, so Nefedov doesn't release the tension. Okay, I agree. So g6, queen h3. This is a very strong move. Man, he's just smothered on the queen side. Now he's going to have to take. Yeah, and then the pawns are Tetris. Very strong, Nefedov. Nice job, man. Nice job. He sacks a piece. Then he takes b4. Actually, not exactly a piece sacrifice. Maybe Nefedov has rook b1 here. I mean, if he just took this, I think that he's still clearly better with the two bishops, but his king's kind of open, so he plays rook b1. The guy has an answer to that? No. I thought he had an answer to this move. Rook b1 question mark. Apparently bishop e3 was stronger. Threatening deadly discoveries. To taking the knight. That's really crushing. Okay, so that was even better. Rook b1, queen c5. Now we play bishop a3, skewering. Nefedov will win something here. a5. Why don't we just take on... Can we just take this? We're not up enough material. We have to win a piece here. It's like mind-boggling. It's confusing me. Now, this is a really irritating game. This whole business like seems unnecessary. Why did we push up all our pawns on the king side when it looks like we were winning on the queen side? Yeah, you gotta find a very difficult move here. Rook b d1 or rook... What about rook f d1? That leaves f4 hanging. We had to find this. I could not find this. You literally have to find this move to protect the knight so you can take the knight on b4. And black has to sacrifice a piece for a couple of pawns. Queen takes c4, pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn. Bishop b2. And eventually, white has a piece for two pawns, but very strong bishop on the long diagonal. So the winning chances would be very good. No. Asterby thinks everyone's an engine now. Poor guy is becoming worse than me. So bishop d3. No, I don't know what to suggest here. Bishop takes f4, rook takes f4, e5. This looks crazy for black to do this. You got some sort of tactic like knight takes here? Is this what it is? Or what's the idea? That says, the computer says that's black's best move. What is it talking about? That can't be black's best move. I don't know, there's analysis here with bishop takes f4. I don't understand that. But that doesn't work. Queen a7. He takes, queen takes, bishop b2, queen d7, rook f3. And now he's setting up mating attacks with queen h6 and rook h3. f6. Soltigo would like this. Man, this is still, we're not up any material. It's like move 40 and we're not up any material. Oh my gosh. He got tired. You just feel it. Now black has like a queen sacrifice. Almost. He's like walking the king out to get mated. King f1 double question mark. I mean, dude, walking out here. I don't know what I would do. Maybe queen g3. Okay, you just wanted to hide the king from checks. My opinion is that you should never play g4 in the first place, man. Knight takes f4, rook takes d7, knight takes h3, rook takes d8, bishop takes d8, rook takes d6. And suddenly it's a whole different game because white has these two passed pawns over here. And the bishops. I thought I was really lucky. c5, this opens up now, this diagonal. Oh man. It's like self-made. Black just self-mated himself. That was a mess, man. That was a total mess game. He should have just played without risk. No g4. I would never touch my kingside with that kind of queenside advantage. There's just no reason to risk. Alright, guys. Let's move on. We got Bob up next. Bob, you're up. What's up, Sladgie fan? Alright, so Bob is playing Accelerated Dragon. Well, this is our game. Grandmaster game. Sladgie against Sparkle Horse. Sladgie fan. Guys, just don't forget, no stream tomorrow. I'm taking a personal holiday. And we'll be back on Sunday with our subscriber stream. It'll be the usual 20 plus players. 30, 30, 40. Time control. Bob's sending a game, of course. Take Back, did you send in a game? Are you going to wait until the stream is over? I don't see one from Take Back. We've got Bob up next. Then Percy, Soltigo, and Merle. Alright, this was our game that we played. Bob was black. He played well in this game. No interesting games so far. I disagree. I beg to differ. So I played this position for both sides. It's all standard until Bob played a6. So I mean, actually, I never played this line that the way he's playing it. Maybe I was thinking, like, can you play knight a5 here? I mean, this would be a transposition to a Sozin. I remember Andrew Soltis, who was a dragon player, had a game in this. There was a very, very many years ago an article in Chess Life magazine. I can't even remember. It's so old. It was like 20 years ago. No more. Knight a5 is interesting. It transposes to a form of the Sozin. I had a game with white against Luc Bergès, a French IM, where I couldn't get anything with white and I offered a draw after like 10 moves. I had no idea what I was doing here. This move it may look stupid. There was a famous game where like Fischer, where like Reshevsky blundered against Fischer and allowed, in a similar position, allowed like bishop takes f7, but that was a totally different position where black hadn't played d6 yet. Reshevsky like tried to play knight a5 before even playing d6 at a very early stage, and Fischer had like bishop takes f7 check. It's a really neat trap. But anyway, that's interesting. It looks like the main moves are trading pieces. Knight takes d4. This is sort of standard. Here, here, here. Queen d3. And we could transpose to one of Gingy's favorite variations. Queen a5. I've played this like a million times for both sides. f4. Rook on a to d8. Rook a d1. That's one way to play. Another way to play, apparently according to the opening explorer, is rook c8. The a7 pawn isn't really hanging because, you know, if you take on c6 and try to take that pawn, it just gets trapped. I mean, it's going to get trapped, period. So never worry about your a6 pawn hanging in this type of position. But Bob played a6. It's all right. I wasn't sure how to handle this, actually. So, actually, the score for black, if you look here, is pretty good. Now, a6 may well be one of black's best moves. Let's see who's played it. Tregubov, Tivyakov, Turizaga. Alright. So, nobody, like, really big named. Tregubov, Tivyakov. These guys are great players, but they're not, like, top 10. Then again, like, the top 10 guys don't really play the Accelerated Dragon. Alright, so a6, f4. Gelfand's been playing the Accelerated Dragon lately. I can't imagine, like, the world's best Najdorf player, like, quitting the Najdorf. It's very strange. I mean, after Kasparov retired from chess, probably Gelfand was, like, the world's best Najdorf player. f4, queen, c7. It's a new era now. We've got, like, Vacher, Legrave. So I played f4. Bob played queen c7 here. I didn't really know what to do. b5 is more consequent. I mean, if you think about Bob's last move, it makes sense to play b5. Queen c7. I mean, rook c8 looks like a move too, you know. It's completely normal. So I played queen f3. And, you know, normally I would put my queen on d3. I don't know why. In this particular position, I decided to put my queen on f3. So I decided to try this. And there's only one game. Hu Yifan versus Tregubov from 2010. Wow. Alright. I didn't analyze this after the simul, Bob. Really, I didn't have time to go over the games this week. So here Bob played a novelty, rook on f to d8, which really looks a little dangerous considering I just stacked up more pressure on the f file with the bishop already on b3. I don't expect him to move his f rook, and I don't think he should. So I would anticipate black playing something like rook c8, you know. Then we transposed a whole bunch of games. You got a game from 1989 where my teammate, Tibor Tolnai, played black. Tibor is a longtime Dragon player. He's part of a team of people who are really analyzing this opening a lot. He has a lot of original ideas in the Dragon. But Solanci is a good friend of mine. He's also played this. So we've got the Hungarian Pereni Bela team playing black here. But b5, that's also good. So Bob has a novelty, rook and f to d8. I thought for a long time here, Bob, I didn't know what to do. You anticipated the d-file opening after a lot of trades. I mean, it would probably be okay to do rook on a to d8. But it's kind of a passive move. You don't have any real forward plan. You're like hope chess. This is like hope chess. You know, you're like, well, if white does e5, then I'll have this play. But if white doesn't do e5, then what is your rook doing? You know, it's actually normal to put on the c file in the Dragon. Of course, here you've put your queen on c7, so you block the rook, essentially. So it is kind of strange. But I would trust Tregubov here. I mean, b5 seems like if you can do it, then you should do it, you know. We'll see what happens, but that looks like the best. So rook d8, rook d1. Now he does b5, and I screwed up, I guess. I guess a3 isn't too bad. Computer says I should play f5, but I was afraid of knight e5. I didn't analyze this too much, but I suppose that the plus sides are just too big for white. You know, I can allow him to have one good piece, but I'm still clearly better. I was looking for like e5, it didn't seem to work. And then Bob trades pieces, knight takes, bishop takes, and he plays e5, which is a very controversial decision, you know. You just rarely can do this in the Dragon, particularly in this position because of the f7 square. To play e5 is like allowing the f-file to open up. So I was very happy with my position. The computer said I should play bishop f2. I'm not a psychic. Now black should have played bishop e6. That's solid. Just neutralizing my bishop on b3. Plays this is more natural. I do agree, bishop c6. But now I have f5, and I didn't find it. I was in time pressure already. I felt like time pressure. For me, like 11 minutes when I'm playing a lot of boards. This is the simul game from Wednesday. Was it Sunday or Wednesday, Bob? Was this... Let's see. 4 days ago. This was Sunday's simul. Okay, so f takes e5. And this was inaccurate. I should have played f5, apparently. So I was supposed to play bishop g5 right away. I played this, and then bishop g5. I had some sort of hallucination. Yeah, this is where I just went totally nuts. I had this crazy hallucination. White still has some kind of tiny advantage here, though I lost a lot of my advantage, I think. But this is just ridiculous. I played knight to d5, sorry, bishop to d5. I was just under some kind of total mystic cloud when I played this move. I have no idea what I was thinking. No idea what I was thinking. I just thought you were pinned to f7 for some reason. This is just an absolute hallucination. I just literally thought this was good for me. I thought, like, bishop there, knight takes, and I'm better or something. But this is nothing. You know, there's nothing here. You just take like this and you're fine. I mean, black is fine here. Play any number of moves, like f5. And I think that black's probably going to win this pawn on d5. I mean, the chances are. So it was just an utter blunder, bishop d5. And then Bob didn't take it. He was like, believed me or something, and played b4. It's like blunder and counter blunder. And then I just take it. So now it's like a different scenario. He should still take the knight, takes d5. But he was believing me. So he played queen check and queen takes b4. And now after takes, knight d5. He's just lost. Just lost because of f7. So it was both of us just mutually blundering there. Queen takes e4. But there was no defense. I mean, he's just lost. There's 4 attackers against f6 and only 2 defenders. There's literally nothing he can do. He can't take because he gets mated on the back rank. Yeah. I mean, in that case, Bob just didn't calculate enough in the critical moment. But I just had a hallucination. Alright, take back finally submitted the game. No more game, guys. No more game. Okay? No more games. So, what's up? Alright, thank you guys for supporting the stream. Next stream will be Sunday. Simul. Friday is off. Saturday is off. Personal. I'm taking a personal day off. Alright, we got Percy. So, Percy, Merle, Soltigo, and then I take back. What do we got for time? We still got another hour left. Sweet. Show me where I could improve. That's our goal here. Chess improvement. Alright, so Percy Hepworth is white. The English. Bob, I think that you're coming along though. You played it pretty well. Rook d8 though, not really the greatest square. There are some positions where you actually have to do that, and it's not really pleasant. If you have to play rook d8, it means that you're in kind of a passive situation. So anyway, c4, c5. I won a nice game against Percy. Oh, this is the game. Okay. Percy, everybody's submitting their games with me. Wow, alright. So Percy submitted this. He wants to know what he did wrong. Alright. So this is another simul game from 3 days ago. Oh, it's not a simul game. This was Blitz. Alright, casual, rapid, whatever. So this was not simul. It was rapid chess, 7+3. Alright. Well, there's one thing that you can do. If you feel creeped out by the system that I used here with bishop g7 and bishop takes c3, a lot of players I've noticed using this move order, you can play e3 first. Hikaru has done this in a couple of games. You can see here. Nakamura, Leiko back in 2009, Timofeyev. There doesn't seem to be any downside with e3. So if you're bothered by bishop g7, bishop takes c3 idea, there's no harm in just doing it right away first. And then the idea is like bishop g7, knight e2, and then you just backdoor the move order. So you just transpose knight e2 and then knight c3. If you want to avoid that variation that I played against you. But the real question is here, this position on move 5. I've studied this all my life, you know, off and on, not constantly. I used to play English, then I kind of gave it up for a long time. Now I play it on occasion. But I think the most interesting move for white is a3, you know. Actually, Sarawan used to play this a lot back in the early 80s. if you look in the chess database, say early 80s, 80 through 80, 86, you're probably 83, around then, you'll find some Yasser Seirawan games where he played A3. This I really think is like White's best chance at creating something kind of dynamic. Black can copycat here too with A6. So that's my preferred approach. Of course, you can play knight F3, which is another variation that's very important. But if you do play E3 as you played in my game, I did this against Irish International Master Mark Quinn, bishop takes C3. It's certainly not my idea. I have played this in other positions. Let's say like knight F3. I had a game last year where I lost. The only game I lost in the Hungarian or Budapest Team Championships all season. I had a game where I did something like knight F3, D6. How did this game go? Castles. Oh, I know what it was. I played Queen D7 in that game. Yeah, I'm not going to do this anymore. If there's a plan to play Queen D7, this is Larson. Queen D7 and B6 and Bishop B7. And I also did like Bishop takes C3. I got absolutely crushed by this Hungarian IM in the tournament game last year. It was heartbreaking. But I don't trust this as much. Basically, when you play E3, you're waving the flag like, please play Bishop takes C3. It's like a better version here. Not to say that this move is necessarily good for black, but I think this is kind of the optimal situation to try to pull it off for black, where you've weakened yourself a little bit with E3. And you can recapture either way here, but you can look at the score. I mean, black has done well. Even though the computer says that white has an advantage, it's obsessed with bishops. You know, I don't know. So you might toy around with trying to play a different order of moves to avoid that, if you really want to. Alright, so E3, bishop takes C3. I don't know which way is better. This is more dynamic to take this way, no doubt. So let's see what happened. I played B6. So we got a couple games here from 2012. A couple games. Dude, check it out. It's like Bielek versus Portish back in 1994. That's awesome. So Lajos played this as well, not only like Larson. So I'm in really good company. That's good to know. I didn't know that Portish would do this. But he was playing Bielek and he was probably had a big score. But it was a draw anyway. Alright, so B6. Portish was like a chess guy in Hungary, and like Bielek was like a weaker grandmaster, so one would assume that Portish had a real whammy on him, probably psychologically. He could do anything and get a draw. B6, knight E2, bishop B7. So we're following this game, actually, which I had looked at a long time ago. Somewhere I referenced this, maybe in a video for a chess lecture. This guy's kind of forgotten Kim Commons. It's an American IM who basically like disappeared and quit chess. But this game deserves like maybe reference as one of the earliest examples. If you see here, Spielman versus Commons in 1978, trying to play. Larson around the same time in the 70s, you know, also used this type of setup. But black hasn't even played like D6. I haven't made any kind of pawn moves to weaken my structure. Castles, D6 now. So castles is a novelty. Spielman played D3. So let's see what happened here. D3, D6, castles, Queen D7. Basically the same plan. E4, castles, queenside. Now we got a Costin game. Costin plays the English. He's written books on it, you know. Actually, I might be getting Costin. No, Costin's written books on it. So is Nigel Davies. But all those guys. But I don't know. I mean, I think this is just a pretty good, complicated game for both sides. So let's see what you did wrong. Castles, D6, D3, Queen D7. We've transposed back to the game. And now E4. Yeah, I mean, this move you played is horrendous. You played bishop to B2. So you want to know what you did wrong? I mean, this is the first move that's concretely a mistake. Bishop B2. No, you have to do E4 and you liberate your bishop from its original square. It's in the game. It's like a Gingy Indian. So this is Costin Bricard 2008, Spielman Commons, both important games. But BB2 is really bad. And now I'm just... This piece doesn't play, you know, and I'm just grappling onto the white squares. I had, was it the game with you that I struggled in? Wait. No, I had a game on my Simul that was kind of similar. That was a Gingy Indian. Rookie 1, Knight A5, so... Yeah, you're struggling without a plan here. I mean, Bishop B2 is the first move, but I think this is also probably wrong. If you can play something without creating big holes in your position... When you play D4, you create the hole on C4, and that just becomes, like, fatal weakness. And Rookie 1 is, like, trying to play for E4, but it's too late. Now it's trading the white square bishops. That's gone, and you have white square weaknesses around your king side. This is a huge target. It's just falling. This is like a Nimzo, like the ultimate Nimzo for black. I can come in here. It's like a Gingy Indian / Nimzo. We're just grabbing the pawn on C4. It's over. White's just lost. So you really didn't make that many mistakes. I mean, playing this position is your first mistake. And playing Bishop B2 was your second mistake. And then like Rookie 1 was probably like your third mistake. But you did a good job here trying to put up a little bit of resistance like Rookie 2. King F7, F3. Obviously trying to play this. I was thinking a long time here. But I wanted to fix the structure so you can't break out and make your bishop good. Make your bishops great again, guys. Don't forget. But this is basically a stock position for me. I was very comfortable. I've done this 100 times to a million different people. There's nothing that white can do. It's just hopeless. Just paralyzed. So I just go down and win the rook ending. Yeah. All right. So I mean, just Bishop B2. If you're gonna play that kind of position, that was really structurally illogical. You know. All right, guys. Let's do the next game. So Soltigo is next, then Merle, and take back. And there was just enough time. Where is Soltigo? So, more of an entertaining game. That's what we count on you for, Soltigo. Pretty sure I botched it. This is the game with me too, right? No. Soltigo didn't submit his game with me, where he beat me in the Simul. It was interesting. That's enough of my games for today. Word of entertaining game. Pretty sure I botched move 10. How would you handle the position after B4? Oh, so you're black in the Nimzovich. Cool. Let me close out some of these windows. Guys, thanks for joining me. Thanks for subscribing and supporting the stream. Today's just for the subscribers, but everyone else is welcome to watch. We basically accept subscriber games. Kazamaza. Kazamaza, are you subscribing? Because I'm only doing subscribers here. Thanks, Percy Hepworth, for donating. Yeah, well, it's an interesting variation. I put a lot of time into that. But unfortunately, like, most people don't allow it anymore. They either play E3, like I was telling you, or just don't play E3 at all. Or they play really well in that resulting position. Richard Palliser has a book, like, Beating the Flank Openings from, like, 10 years ago. He recommends playing this system for black. Alright. So, Soltigo is black here. Speaking of black. E4, knight c6, d4, e5. So, okay. This will oftentimes transpose to the Scotch after knight f3. So, if you choose to play this, R.I.P. Tony Miles. Tony Miles was the guy who really popularized this back in the late 80s, early 90s. You see, there's a game. I mean, I'm not sure when he started. Maybe it was 90s, but whatever. Beliaski versus Miles 2000. There's some Hort games. I didn't know that Hort played this. That's interesting. Hort has 2 games with Hubner back. It looks like the same game, though. It's probably a double. Hubner versus Hort from 1984. German championship or something. 1984, though. Does anyone know, are those guys, like, West German? Alright, d4, e5, d5. Do we have any German viewers here? d5 is played. Knight f3 is common. I like d takes e5. That's my preferred approach. Okay, so d5 just closes it down. It becomes more like some kind of, I don't know what I want to call it, two knights tango. Maybe even a form of Roy Lopez or something. The structure you get sometimes in the Roy Lopez when it closes with d5. Bob, you never miss a chance to be like polarizing. Okay, d5, knight e7, and now knight to f3, attacking e5. Yeah, I would play d6 here. Because knight g6 just invites h4. I think it's knight g6, h4. And, you know, I like it. So is this Joel Benjamin, several games, Miles, lost a game? I don't like this at all. I don't like the knight g6, h4. That's scary. h5, you have to play h5. There's one game with bishop c5. How does that work? How does that work? Can you seriously do that? Just some 2300 against a 2200. +3. Computer's like, thank you for the pawn. h5, black won the game after knight f8. What were these guys smoking? Knight takes e5. Wait a minute. Wait. Queen e7. Guillermo. Guillermo is just up all kinds of stuff here. Knight to d3. Queen takes e4 check. So, man. So he gives the pawn back, and white has such a spatial advantage, but it's not like that big a deal. So Alejandro was able to win. White's space advantage is significant, but it's not like he's winning. Alright, that's entertaining. Let's see what happens. So he played knight g6. Saltigo did play knight g6. What about d6? Is it really bad? Like, seriously. Is this really bad? I don't think it's that bad. Andreassian, Miles, a whole bunch of people have played it. Apparently you can also play knight f6. Does this happen in Scotch? Is there some other way this position can be arrived at? Knight takes e5, knight takes e4. Hort versus Miles. This is apparently just bad. Here, oh no. Hort actually played queen f3. It looks like the vulture. Okay, this is terrible for black. Okay, this is out. So basically you have to do knight g6 or d6. Let's see though, this is for entertainment purposes. Bishop d3. The guy has no clue about h4. So by playing a robotic move here, white lost all of his advantage. And now Saltigo should take this opportunity for station identification and get his bishop outside the pawn chain, probably. Though h4 may still be a good move. He now has the fallback square f8, which you guys like so much. Yeah, but on f8 it doesn't get in the way as much. Like, seriously, if you play bishop c5, h4... I mean, I would think you could play d6 here for real, and play h5, maybe drop back to f8. It might not be that bad, because then they could reroute, you know, through d7 or even h7. There's nothing fatal about black's position here. He's got his bishop outside the pawn chain. His pieces will eventually get out, at least. You know, there's no piece that's condemned to death here. So instead he does what? No, white will not play h4. Will not do that. All right, knight f6. What about h4 still? I'm obsessed with this move. Now it looks like Saltigo will have like c6 maybe. Too routine by white. Bishop c5, bishop g5, the worst move on the board. You know, you have pawns on white squares, sir. So you need to really consider that dark square bishop to be a good piece. You don't want to trade it off. I would just play h6. Saltigo just castled. And then bishop takes f6, giving up his good bishop. Queen takes f6, c3. At least he's attempting to get some kind of control over the dark squares. Knight f4. The vulture has risen. It's not a vulture, this is a phoenix. The knight on f4. It's the phoenix. It's not pushed back to f8, it's risen from the ashes and it's coming to f4. Wow. b4. Good try, sir. Oh no. This is where Soltigo starts getting fancy. So, just a routine move. Be patient. White has nothing here. His best is like knight a3, trying to eliminate your bishop with knight c4. You still have a huge position. But I think that we could say that Soltigo here, he's having fun. So it's for entertainment purposes. You may remember a past game where you analyzed where I sacked the queen with knight g4, bishop takes f2, allowing bishop takes d8. You know, Soltigo, I've forgotten about that. I didn't realize you had that much experience with it. I had forgotten, to be perfectly frank. As long as you know what you're doing, just not to be aware of it. I told you guys I had a very bad game I lost with Erdos Victor in a rapid tournament. It was a two knights tango, something similar, g3, knight h3, king g2, knight f4, king h1, and now what? Entertainment purposes only. d6. Sacrificing two pieces simultaneously. Triple exclam. No, take your pick. Like, which one do you want? You must have dug deep to find this game, Soltigo. It's from 2 months ago. So he takes this piece. And then bishop h3. This is totally for Asterbait. This is one of Asterbait's games, isn't it? It's totally one of Asterbait's games. Chess player friendly poker stream. Yeah, I thought about doing stuff like that, but I'm so out of online poker. Alright, bishop h3, rook g1, and now bishop g4. Sacking a second piece unsoundly. G takes f4. This is our comic relief. Of course, this is unsound. And then, desperate, he finds the best move. Stockfish agrees. f5. Down to what's a mere 2 pieces? He's all in. Rook takes f5. And we're suddenly ready to go with all the pieces. And I've seen this with Soltigo's play. Like, he has a very good feel for harmony. Sometimes he miscalculates or blunders. Sometimes he overlooks certain stuff. But he usually finds a way to get all of his pieces kind of working. And when he does, he's very dangerous. This is a situation where white's pieces are still at home on the queen side. So it may not matter that black is down 2 pieces very soon. And Soltigo's favorite player is Mikhail Tal, as far as I know. So white misses opportunity here to simplify. Always simplify. When you're up material, don't forget it. Always simplify when you're up material. Queen takes f4. He's up just a mere 2 pieces then. But he's just too blasé, too laissez-faire. c4? What? He's getting his knight a better square. I mean, this is ridiculous. c4. Hello, we're coming. Is anybody home? Bang. The pressure's on. Rook g3, e4, knight d4. And suddenly we have a mate in 1 threat. Acerbate's favorite theme. But white has counterplay. Queen to g1. Threats against g7. Defending h2. And now... yeah, it's fine, but it's like taking bishop takes h7 with a queen and bishop on the diagonal. You take a pawn, but now what? He just got a pawn. No big deal. Meanwhile, black seems to have some sort of threats yet. Not really enough, though. This was a really good move, trading pieces, which is what I was recommending Queen takes. Wham. It's just like +5 if white finds the perfect move here. Sorry guys, I'll turn off the engine. It probably just froze the stream. Rook to d1. But that's amazing. He's put this guy in a situation where he's up a piece and white has to find perfect moves, you know, to defend, and he can't. And e3, black's winning. Because you just got control of the f3 square, and plus the pawn itself is just coming down to e2. The stream has been fairly good with the engine on. It's totally hard to predict. Sometimes, you know, if I do like 2 evaluations, 2 lines of analysis, it usually goes down. Oftentimes with 1, it's okay. That's good to know. My internet crashed earlier today, which was really unpleasant. We're winning at least the queen here. We have like rook f2 check next. No, except I didn't look at this. Wait a minute. Oh, that's brutal. So if he goes queen g1, you just trade queens and then take on d2 and he can stop you from trading. That's what happened. Nice. Nice game, man. Of course, he's not serious. He was kind of messing around in this game. But anyway, Acerbate is proud of you. Okay, guys. We've got Merle and I take back. Merle and take back are remaining. Stook says this is how he wins all his games. Nice finish. We're picking up some viewers now to 37. We were kind of low today. Alright, usually the subscriber stream, sometimes it catches on, but usually, you know, nobody likes to watch something that says like subscriber stream. They feel like it's exclusive. I really shouldn't put it in the title, I guess. We'll just call it game analysis, but then people think that they can all submit their games, and I only accept the subscriber games. We should have like, we should make a deal where like everybody can submit their games and we pick one from the other players or something. You know, let like one random get chosen. What do you think, Soltigo? We had like a, not a contest, but just like let the other people submit it and then we'll randomly pick one from non-subscribers just to kind of draw in some non-subscribers to watching the stream. Take subscriber out of the title. Yeah, I think so too. I think it turns people off. Alright, I'm going to go to the next game. So we've got Merle. Where's Merle? Alright, Dear Master, this is a GM game for analysis. I hope it's not, recommend people gifts subscriptions instead of donation. Like a drug dealer giving out free hits. Great influence. Alright. Correspondence chess, not really. It's Etienne Bacrot versus Mamedyarov. An over-the-board game. Merle likes to look at Grandmaster games. Who doesn't? This is from 2013. We gotta see it from Mamedyarov's perspective, because Mamedyarov just rules. This is before he became out of control strong, though. Mamedyarov went through a long period where he was just like another 2700 player before he really cemented his place in the top several players in the world. This past 2 years, really, he's just gotten out of control, playing just the most amazing games. So Etienne is white, and Bacrot, who's a journeyman 2700, you know, like he was formerly the French #1. I mean, he's a very, very strong player. He's not that old. d4, d5, knight f3, knight f6, knight c3, e6, semi-Slav, and bishop g5, anti-Botvinnik. Now knight on bd7. So Merle's playing the Cambridge Springs variation, and this is one way you can get there with queen a5. So now we have the same variation that Merle and I played in our last 2 simul games. I used to always play knight to d2, but I haven't had that much success over my career with knight to d2, so I decided to try this other variation the other main line, basically, with c takes d5. Bancroft. Alright, Bancroft is a different name. Knight takes d5, queen d2, bishop b4, rook c1, and now b6. This is what Merle played against me the last game. I think the first game we played, Merle, didn't you play castles? If I remember correctly, like 2 weeks ago? I mean, castles is like the most natural move. I think we had castles, bishop d3, and then you played... I mean, if I'm not mistaken, you played b6 later. I'm not sure in like which moment. Maybe... Bancroft is a good player, but you're living in the future, Acerbate. Don't tell everybody. You've done like a... You've done like a Kurt Vonnegut thing where you like travel in time and you're jumping. You're jumping into the future again. In like 2105, after the nuclear war, when the civilization comes back, you know, Bancroft will be the world champion. No, rook c1, b6 here, bishop d3, bishop a6. Is this our game exactly? Castles. I think this is our exact simul game. So are you typing on your phone or something? Acerbate must be like on Twitch on his phone. That's usually my phone spell check does stuff like that. Especially it loves when I type in Hungarian words. It just changes it, you know, it changes it to Bancroft. Is Bancroft a word? Let's get out the like Scrabble dictionary. Alright. Castle, e4. I think we're just following, you know, my game with... They obviously knew about our game. So castle, e4. Castle, e4. Is this the exact game? Knight takes c3, b takes c, bishop a3. Now I played rook b1. If I'm not mistaken, you know, against Merle I played rook to b1. That transposes to Khan Emre against Vita Levente. Some other games as well. Levente, why do you play the Queen's Gambit Decline, man? Stay with the King's Indian. It's much more your style. It's like Hikaru playing the Queen's Gambit Decline. Yeah, okay. Throw away your rating points. You hear there's a minor scandal upheaval going on in Hungary right now? Yeah, well, my wife told me that there was a revolution, and I didn't believe her, you know, the last time I talked to her. But I didn't see anything major about it on the news. But, you know, a lot of stuff's going on. Like, they kicked out the Soros-based university for real from Hungary now. But it's probably about other stuff. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility if there were, like, a revolution in Hungary. I mean, it's not completely out of the realm of possibility. But mostly they've been kind of taking whatever they get. They've been putting up with a lot. But anyway, maybe the French will, you know, maybe the French revolutions will inspire them to revolt. I'll have to check the news later. A minor scandal. A social upheaval. I can't read. A social upheaval. Okay. Social upheaval. Maybe I should wait to go back. Alright, bishop a3. So I played rook b1. It looks like we've got rook ce1 here. This is like saying, okay, I like my rooks here, and I'm going to play f4, f5 for white. But I'm not sure if it's like really realistic in this position. I mean, are you really going to be able to get to do that? Because Manjaro is going to have a lot of pressure on the position. You can see like c5 coming. The rooks will come to c8. I mean, is it realistic to play rook on c to e1 here? Kind of a weird move. I'm curious what the engine would do. The engine would do what I would do, of course. I know better. Rook b1. Rook d1 or b1. Rook e1 is just weird, you know? This is a weird move. I'm an owner. An owner of what? What do I own, Bob? Wait, what do I own? You gotta tell me, man. I don't own anything. Alright. I could file for bankruptcy today. Rook on c to e1, c5. Bishop takes a6. Queen takes a6. Eventually that exchange is going to have to happen. My chess business. It's not much on paper. Okay, e5. Yeah, e5. You know, you generally want to keep these pawns fluid here. So Bakro, I don't know what he's doing with e5. I don't think he's seriously going to play like rook lift. Is he going to do that? So it's just like, there goes the structure. Bakro's structure is just shot. I mean, pawn, pawn, pawn. So he better have something to show for this, because if he doesn't, he's just going to get crushed. He's going to go over the precipice very quickly here. Queen b7. I mean, this is probably like a rapid game or something. Maybe even blitz. I have no idea what the time control was. Queen a4. Yeah, this is awkward for black that both his knight and his bishop are kind of fighting over this one outpost on c5. Mamajar's like, alright, here. Rook d1. Now we need a plan. Now we need a plan. Our knight is trapped. So just in time we have the move b5. Brilliant. Giving the knight a square at b6. Kibbutz. Is that your phone again, Asterbait? Wait, what is a kibbutz? Is that another word for kibbutz? Is that a legitimate spelling of kibbutz? The proper Yiddish spelling of kibbutz. Kibbutz. Rook on f to c8. So that's like freeing up the f8 square in case of an emergency. Man. He's like, you're not doing that. Now what does white do? It's just like, okay, what's next? Bring it on. Because we're winning on the queen side. We're just winning on the queen side. Yeah, he comes with it. Bang. This man is serious, dude. He's not afraid of anything. So what are we going to do? Queen h5, chop the bishop, and then play h6 or something? And laugh at white? He plays rook d4. Alright, so I was expecting queen h5. Do we take on f6? Or play h6 right away? No, we have to take on f6, right? Let's see. You take on f6? Yeah, you just laugh at white. You're like, haha, you can't do anything. And I'm just like, better. But that's still probably like Bakro's... This is his best chance. He can at least damage black's pawn structure just a tiny, tiny bit. He's just losing his c3 pawn for nothing. Mr. Coffee. Mr. Coffee would like this position. Alright. So, rook d4. He tries to defend this way. He's just like, okay, whatever. Thanks for the piece. Oh no. He's just like, okay, thank you. I've had enough. Where's your discovery again? Oh man. I didn't even think this is possible. Turn off the stockfish. Damn, that's brutal. That's just brutal. Hisidon says it was a rapid game. Geneva Masters. Cool. Thanks for looking that up. Hisidon's like, what's up, Dim? So it was a rapid game. I had the feeling it had to be a fast time control. I mean, basically, Bakro wasn't playing that well, you know. And you could see that he's making some second-rate moves. But Mamajarov is so strong, it's just like falling out of bed, you know. He just takes the piece. I didn't even consider it. You know, I just thought, okay, well, if Bakro is leaving a piece hanging, you can't take it, you know. So he's just open-minded. Okay, where is it? No, this move, I don't know. There's probably multiple ways of playing this now. Although the threat, like, if you go bishop h6, this could be a little bit of a discomfort. You might feel a small pinch at one moment. So, there's this, and there's this. Gaining access to f7. We just need to make sure that doesn't happen. And I think we're good to go. And now it's just like the last hope maybe here, but he's just going to push his pawns down. There's just nothing. Just totally zero. He just takes the pawn too. Takes everything. Oh my god. It's a total disaster. So, good choice of opening there. Dim, thanks for supporting the stream. 200 donation from Dim, getting up to 1100, taking second place for the week over Clash Kid. Nils leapfrogged you guys with 1500 today. Look out. Listen, guys, just to update the guys who just came in. Tomorrow I have an important event, so I can't be here for a Friday stream. My next stream is going to be the usual Sunday simul at 4:30 Eastern Time on Sunday. So please note, no Friday stream, no Saturday stream. I've got important personal business. We'll be back to business hopefully on Sunday. Call our commune. Pascal Town. All right. Chess commune. Communal farm for anyone who's submitted a game who isn't a sub. Communal farm, because we have obvious obsession with animals, with all this pandas and stuff. Hello. JCS likes animals too. Who doesn't? 42 subscribers, viewers today. All right, let's get going. So we've got a little bit of time left. Last game, I think. I take back. No, what am I saying? Anyway, I'm losing my mind. Yeah, I take back. Alright. I was forgetting. So, where is the game? I clicked on his name. Take back supporting lichess. Acerbate supporting lichess. Mr. Coffee supporting lichess. You guys are awesome. Alright, short game for analysis. What's this? Alright, so classical chess, fianchettoed, or fianchettoed if you prefer, versus I take back. Some are more equal than others. George Orwell. Just bought a copy of that for my daughter. A lot of people, where was I reading? Like someone was like criticizing. Maybe it was somebody, a writer I read recently. Oh, I know who it was. It was, oh man, wait. It was, hold on a second. Nabokov. Nabokov was heavily criticizing Orwell in one of his other novels that I have. He was making him like he's cliche and all this stuff. Pretty harsh. He was a very harsh critic. Alright, but anyways, enough of literary history here. So, Nabokov was like we're living in Massachusetts, in Boston or Cambridge, as like a professor for women's literature at Wellesley when he was like writing. He was living in some dingy apartment in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and criticizing Orwell. Alright, anyways. So, fianchettoed is white, take back is black, d4, knight f6, c4, d6. The happy ending in the film version. Alright, d4, knight f6, c4, that's Charlotte's Web. A different farm animal movie. Knight f3, g6, g3, bishop g7, bishop g2. Now he plays knight c6. Interesting choice from Take Back, playing knight c6 before castles here. It's interesting. Is there any real static advantage in, say, playing knight c6 prior to playing castles? Maybe we could try to trick white somehow. There could be a disadvantage in it too. Like, you can't play knight a5 because of some trick or something. If knight c6, d5, knight a5, queen a4 check, you have c6, right? So it should be cool. There's no d5, knight a5. Why can't we go here? Is there a problem with this? Do you have a problem with this? Some sort of trick? There is a problem with this. There is a problem with this. Queen a4 checks, c6, bishop d2. I knew there was something here. Yeah. It just may not work. So you can't play knight a5. Now b4 doesn't work, but this bishop d2 is a killer. Now this is a serious problem. So if we can't play knight a5, then there may be questions about the setup. There's a Bologan game. You know, he likes to play weird stuff in the King's Indian. And also not so weird stuff. But he also plays the... Bologan also plays the Two Knights Tango, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. But anyways, like, it looks like you have to play knight b8 here. You have to be willing to play knight b8. And I'm not sure if I like it or not. Black lost all 3 games. Forintosh. So that's something to keep in mind, take back. Like, this might be a serious problem, but oddly, like, no one really thought about it. Well, 2 guys did. Sergei Ivanov, or Yanov, I guess you say, and Lipka, who I don't know. Some sort of Slovenian guy, maybe Croatian. I have no clue. It would be nice if it worked, but knight c6 too early. Alright, so he plays knight c3 and you transposed. Still, you should probably castle here. You transposed to another weird position. My good friend Joseph Fong has a game 2003 against Paul Roberts, whoever that is. International Master Joe knows his stuff, so he probably played d5. Let's see what Joe did. Wait. Let's just see what Joe did. Can we insert this? Why is it not letting me click on it? Oh, because it's not a study. Okay. So let's just guess Joe played d5. He did. And now Mr. Roberts. It's like a hairstyling place, isn't it? Mr. Roberts, I don't like knight e5 and I don't like knight a5. Knight a5 is going to be similar or worse. No, it's no bishop d2 now. So can we try to get away? There's going to be knight d4 now. We try to get away with knight a5. Somebody tried that. Gildardo got into this position. This is Joe versus Mr. Rogers. Mr. Roberts. Joe just stepped on him with knight to d4. This is already like a good version for white. Like a very good position. Yeah. Alright, so we learned our lesson. You can't play without castling first. Take back. Creative, but not good. So we got castles. And now you castled and you transposed to like a main line. Okay. After all that. A3. The ultimate move. So pick a random move for white. It's like the earlier game. What's the most random move you can make here? Like, try to think of the worst move you can play. Like, probably... Well, but that doesn't lose material, you know? It's hard to do. You know, this is a good exercise. Like, knight d2 loses material. It drops the d4 pawn. Knight h4 is not so bad. Knight g5 is kind of random. But it's probably not that bad. Yeah, I mean, a3 definitely strikes me as one of the more random moves you can play in this position. Yet there's this kid, or guy, Rachel, who actually... Who knows how they got to this position, though? It could be a transposition. I can't see playing a3 here. e5. What's the best approach, though? It's a little weird what take back did here. I mean, normally when you play bishop f5, you have a couple of ideas. To play like knight e4, or maybe queen d7 or queen c8 and to play for bishop h3. But so it seems like take back just kind of was random. You know, Malinyuk played knight e4. He's a very strong player. Dutch, usually playing the Dutch, actually. But I guess he wanted to mix it up a little bit. Can't play the Dutch all the time. It's like a recipe for suicide. Knight e4. Knight e4, bishop e4, and we're good to go. You know, I mean, that's the the standard way of playing this. The standard. Tandoori. I'm getting hungry. Send me some Indian food, and I'll analyze your game. a3, e5. So that doesn't seem... Bishop f5 and e5, see that they don't really like gel, you know. I think they're two different plans. d5, knight e7. This doesn't necessarily fit, you know, plan 1 and plan 2. Knight d2, queen d7. So he's played a3, but he's got a logical position now. And you had to trade your bad b. You have to here. Bishop h3. And then white has a space advantage on the queen side. This is an interesting move, though. Bishop h6, the computer says is dubious. I think that it's actually logical. Definitely a logical move. You want to trade your bad bishop off. Definitely seen in other variations of the King's Indian. I think the computer probably likes f4 here. Nope, I was wrong. f4 is too risky. The advantage jumped way up for white, and I couldn't think of any other reason except for f4, but I guess it just really likes white's game. After, like, here. Takes. Rook takes. I mean, white's first. You know, he's just first on the queen side with a space advantage. So, you probably have to just play something crazy here. c6. Create some sort of complications. This is an anti-positional move and unusual, but because white's development's a little bit slow, maybe you can open up the c-file and try to just play along the c-file. Try to get some counterplay there. Even though we're playing on white's side of the board. Black isn't really playing this game in a standard King's Indian way, take back. I mean, you're trading off your good bishop on h3 for his bad bishop. This is definitely like a non-standard type of way of playing. So you have to resort to some strange plans to make this work. Looks like this isn't good enough. Natural, but white just has too much space here. So I don't know what I would do. I would be aware that I'm worse in this position. Very keenly aware that I'm worse now. c5's coming. He's got the classic play on the queen side. Our attack is too slow. I mean, knight h5 seems like what I would probably do, but it looks like white's just better after c5. Maybe not better enough. Some positions are betterer than other positions. Right, guys? So, let's see what takeback did. He did king g7. I don't think this helps the situation. He may be looking at something weird. I've done stuff like this before. Trying to play down the h-file. I don't know. The only consideration with king g7, c5, b6. Yeah, I definitely don't like b6. You should probably not touch anything over there if possible. And I think he wanted to just induce him to lock it up. But either way, white's better. I don't know. You should just try to do something on the king side. This isn't helping. White's very strong. Okay. Generally, I wouldn't trade pieces when I'm up material. I mean, up space, but up anything. But it would eliminate any real chance of danger, and white's basically got almost like a winning position on the queen side because of the space with c4, c5, and the c-file. So I guess I don't mind this exchange of queens. But then takeback had a surprise. Knight f4 check. Oh. Soltigo style. And that's like forced repetition if he takes it. Forced draw. Straight up. Nothing to do there. If you take it, it's just queen g4, queen f3, queen g4, queen f3. So he tried to play king h1 and then queen h3. And now he has to play rook g1. And it would have been a mess after rook g1. White's probably still better, I guess. But he had enough. He had enough. He was scared. This guy's tactical monster. I don't want to do this anymore. He didn't want to play rook g1. But objectively, there's no knight d3, there's no knight e2. White's still got the advantage here along the c-file. Your f5's kind of slow. And if you play that, there's queen d7. Now queen g4 doesn't work anymore because he'll play queen f3 check, rook g2. So you're in kind of a tough spot here if he plays rook g1. Like, you have to go back to h5, it appears, and just play this position. The queen is getting awkward on b5 too. It gets in the way of his knight. But I think that white is still better. Though you do have counterplay at some point when the queen moves away with like f5. Black at least has hope of a counter attack here. So we took the draw. We're happy with the draw now. I mean, you had way less space, and the guy played pretty well. I think he played really well for his rating, except for A3. I had no idea why he played A3. Well, let's see what we got here. Another notification. What is that? Zisak. Interesting game. Korchnoi versus Karpov. Is this... Wait. Is this a subscriber submission here that I overlooked? From somebody? Who is Ejak? Who is Exaisak? I don't know how to pronounce this in Hungarian. It's not like Stuk, is it? Is this like Stuk submitting a game for analysis? 1978 World Championship. I don't know if I've seen that. But I just want to do this if it's one of the subscribers. If not, I'm gonna close down the stream because it's time to go eat dinner. Stuk, did you submit this game? Who is this? Is this... It's not Stuk. He has his own name. This is a guy from Iceland. Oh, wow. Interesting. A player from Iceland. There's not that many Icelandic players on... Well, there's probably not that many Icelandic players in general. But he's not a subscriber, I guess. But he's a pretty strong player. He submitted this. That's cool. Let's take a quick look, and then we're going to close down the stream. Alright. I think we once had another player who was a regular on our stream from Iceland, but he ghosted us. So, Karpov Korchnoi, bishop b4, e3, c5, 92, d5, a3, take. I had the same game with Sviton, Grandmaster Sviton. We drew in like 15 moves or something where I was white in this line. But white is a little bit better, but it's like a tiny bit better for white. A lot of draws. See the draw percentage here? It's like 57. We basically, I was like, castles, draw, and he was like, yeah. Maybe we played a couple more moves, I don't remember. But I was kind of wimpy. But Sviton's pretty strong, he's like 25-50. Castles, b6, queen d3, bishop b7, rook a d1, h6. So I've probably seen this. f3, 97. There was another beautiful game that Karpov won, but I think it was later, where Karpov won a brilliancy in IQP position with black. So let's see, knight here, bishop a2, knight f4. Yeah, it's not clear what black's achieved so far, like knight f4, knight g6. Korchnoi is going to try to avoid exchanging pieces in his IQP. Wow, h4, just grabbing space, embarrassing the knight on g6. Interesting struggle in h5. Our favorite theme here with the pandas. Soltigo, have a great evening. We're going to close down the stream after quickly looking at this. Korchnoi, wow, so forcing weaknesses in the black position, or inducing weaknesses, we should say. Karpov's knight's a little bit weird. The knight on f8, not too happy, and now there's this weakness on e6. He's created some chances, and he just goes postal with g4. Wow. Korchnoi is really in his prime. Rook c8, bishop g3, bishop a6, rook e1, rook c6. Karpov trying to get some counterplay. c1 here. Repeal. Trading pieces generally good for black here. He's holding on, so Karpov was solid. They probably got in time pressure. Look how desperate he is, though. He played bishop b7. He's like, please take my bishop on b7. I'll do anything to trade. Korchnoi's like, yeah. I have two bishops. You got solid knights. This is a good game. I don't think I've seen this game, actually. Queen e4, queen d7, bishop b1, threatening nothing. Queen b5. It's really close, though. It looks like it was like equal at this point. So the game is like decided later. Basically a stalemate, essentially. A positional stalemate. 2 bishops versus 2 knights. Karpov's just defending. The Karpov gets ambitious with f5 here. It's like move 37. I mean, I don't like that move. It either works or it doesn't work, but it might just be crazy, you know. Karpov takes a huge risk here with f5. I'm not sure if I could really support this idea. Now, I don't know what's going on with the h5 pawn. Karpov doesn't like to look at the ending after queen takes. Queen takes f5, I guess. White's bishops are better. So he plays this, but like, what's going on? So he's on d4. And then he just ends up losing a pawn. Korchnoi is fearless. Totally fearless. All that work to just win a pawn, and still Karpov is only half a pawn down. Now it's equal again. Yeah, man, this is a tough battle. They really battled. This crazy. Threatening mate. This is a great game. I was only a baby when they were playing this game. Sort of. Bishop e4, it was a blunder. So black's okay again. Crazy game. Wow, and it's just looking kind of creepy. How's that knight going to stop this pawn and play g6? I guess this is how. And Karpov blundered here. But how in the world is this a draw? The engine says it's a draw here. Why is Stockfish thinking this is a draw for a minute? Look at the evaluation spike. But I mean, there's no draw. It looks like it's just lost. Anyway, guys, Karpov, I guess, misevaluated this. Is it still a draw for real? Wait. Oh, so White had to play a4, and that's not enough. Stockfish has no clue what's going on. Too complicated. There's no table base. Too many pieces on the board. No, it's just a win. Just a... What is it? The right color. It's the wrong color rook pawn. But it's an instructive endgame, so what does he do? He forces the king out somehow? Wow. Well, he's going to force him to give him a b pawn. I thought he was going to stalemate him, so he had to take and give him make him have a b pawn. But he didn't. He just got to this position. Here we go again. It's ridiculous. What is this? So he stalemates him there. But I thought there was a point where he could actually stalemate him first and then force him to play b4. See, that's the thing I didn't understand. If we could achieve a position somehow where, let's say, we got this position like king h5, bishop g5. So my question is here, you see, if you could achieve this position, then you force black to play b4, then you take, And then when he plays a3, you let him out of the stalemate, and now you have a b pawn instead of an a pawn. This is basically what Korchnoi was trying to do. Put him in stalemate, you know, while he still has the pawns that could move. So it's not a joke. No, it was like for real, you know. But he just couldn't do it. So it's like seriously a draw. The computer doesn't understand because it's an a pawn. You know, he couldn't see the horizon with the bishop and rook pawn, wrong rook pawn. That's why he thought it was winning. Because it just doesn't. It's not on the table base and it can't see over the horizon. But I wasn't sure what the deal was. I hadn't seen this game before. Yeah, you're not gonna get there easily. Anyway, guys, I'm out. I'm going to see you on Sunday for our simul. Thanks to Soltigo and for JCS for being moderators today. We had a lot of interesting games. It was fun. From the Pandas, I will see you guys later. Goodbye. So I'm taking Friday off. No stream tomorrow. Sorry about that. A very important personal business. We will be back on Sunday, 4:30, simul. 20-plus players here on lichess and Twitch. Thanks, everybody. And I will see you then. Take care again. Thanks to Soltigo and JCS. Thanks everybody for supporting the stream. Nils, Dim, Clash Kid, and everyone else. Acerbate, all you guys. Bob, no matter how much controversy you stir up. Thanks for joining us here. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.